Hello everyone. In our last class, we discussed about the subatomic particles, electron, proton, neutron, and electron has negatively charged one, and proton positively charged one. Neutron is neutral. And we discussed finally the atom is electrically neutral. And not only that, the nature of the light, and we discussed a line spectrum. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the atomic models, various atomic models. Okay. Then in 9th class you have already learned about J.J. Thomson's J.J. Thomson atomic model. Okay. Now we are going to discuss atomic models. Okay, the different then many scientists or proposed their atomic models that once we recall it. J.J. Thomson. According to J.J. Thomson's atomic model, atom is like a sphere. It is completely the positive charges are distributed. Okay, it is a sphere like in structure, and the positive charges are uniformly distributed throughout the atom, and the negatively charged particles called electrons are embedded in the positively charged. Okay, like so this model is called as plum pudding model. Or otherwise watermelon. Okay, then in watermelon we will see that red color portion is considered as a positive charge. Okay, watermelon is almost all in spherical in shape. In that, red color portion is considered as positive charge, and seeds of watermelon is considered as a negatively charged one, right, like a watermelon. Okay, then this model is called as plum pudding model or otherwise watermelon type model. This was given by J.J. Thomson. Okay, and after the J.J. Thomson, the one more atomic model is given by Rutherford. This is called as Rutherford atomic model. Right? Rutherford atomic model. According to Rutherford's atomic model, he said that atom is spherical in shape. Okay, atom is in a spherical in shape, and center of the atom, the protons and neutrons are together forms a nucleus. Okay, he said that then atom is spherical in shape, and all the protons and neutrons are together formed a nucleus that will be in positive charge is given by the Rutherford atomic model. Okay, right, that's why this model is also called a nuclear model. Okay, that means nucleus is introduced by Rutherford. Got it? And he said then electrons are revolve around the nucleus. Electrons are revolve around the nucleus. He said that the nucleus is formed by the protons and neutrons, and electrons are not a part in a nucleus. They revolve around the nucleus like planets revolve around the sun. like planets revolve around the sun. That's why this model is also called as planetary model. That's why this Rutherford's atomic model is also called as planetary model. Why? Because he has explained like how planets are revolving around the nucleus, around the sun. The electrons also revolve around the nucleus. Got it? And he said that the size of the nucleus is very small. Size of the nucleus is very small comparing to the size of the atom. Okay, for example, size of the atom is equal to like a football, right? The size, okay, atom size like a football, but the nucleus is like a lemon size. If you compare the size of the atom and lemon size, say lemon is very smaller in size or not, if comparing to the size of the football, right? Got it? Approximately its size is 10 to the power of 5 times, right? If compare the nucleus size with the atom size, the nucleus size is 10 to the power of 5 times less than the size of the atom, less than the size of the atom. Okay, and he said the electrons are revolves continuously around the nucleus. Got it? Okay, from a Rutherford atomic model, he said that then electrons are revolve around the nucleus continuously. But according to classical physics, if any object is continuously in motion, it loses its energy, right? If continuously it is in motion, it loses its energy. For example, if we are playing a game continuously from morning to evening, then what happened? We lose our energy or not? Like that, then if electron is also revolving continuously, the electron also loses its energy, right? If loses its energy, then we know that always that the electrons are attracted by the nucleus. Why, sir? It is positive. Nucleus is in positively charged, right? And then electrons are negatively charged. Then force of attraction between unlike charges, no? We know that like charges or repel, right? Unlikes or attract. Due to this reason, then it loses its energy. Then while losing the energy, it comes towards the nucleus. It comes towards the nucleus and finally it falls into the nucleus, right? If it is falls into the nucleus, then atom is unstable. Atom becomes unstable. But then if atom is unstable, no matter will exist in the universe. Why, sir? Why? Because all the substances are formed by the group of atoms or not, right? Then here, but matter is existed or not? Matter is existed. That means then electron is not losing its energy. Then why it is not losing its energy? This doubt was not explained by the Rutherford. Got it? Why? If electron is continuously revolves, it should loses the energy. But then according to his theory, it loses the energy. It should lose its energy. But actually it is not losing. Got it? By his concept, actually it has to lose. But it is not losing its energy. Then why electrons are losing its energy? How atom is stable? That doubt is not explained clearly by the Rutherford. So this is the drawback of Rutherford. Okay. To overcome this drawback, one more scientist came out with a new concept. Okay. by new explanation of the atomic model that a scientist is called Bohr's. Okay, then now we are going to discuss about the Bohr's atomic model. Bohr's atomic model, or in our textbook have Bohr's atomic model of hydrogen atom. Okay, right, see it. Then according to his atomic model, the electrons revolve around the nucleus in discrete orbitals, right? They revolve in orbitals. These circulars are indicating the orbitals. The when electron is revolving in these orbitals, in these discrete orbitals, then it will not loses its energy, right? If the electron is revolved in these discrete orbital, that means the electron, then one electron he chooses to revolve around the nucleus this path, right? Then if electron is revolving in this orbital, in its own orbital, it never loses its energy. Okay, so that's why the electrons are gaining the energy by revolving in this path. Got it? Like then Earth is revolving around the sun from many years back. Still now also it is revolving or not? It is losing its energy. No, how it is gaining that energy to revolve around the sun? Because of its path. Because of its path. Here also the electron is also will not loses its energy because of its own path, its discrete path. These blue color circles are shown as orbitals or shells. Okay, right? These when electron revolve in its own orbitals, it will not loses its energy. That's why it is called as energy shells also. Okay, and has given names for the shells. Has given K shell, right, and L shell, M shell, right, like and he has given numbers also. Then first shell or second shell or third shell names, right? These numbers are called as principal quantum numbers. Principal quantum numbers is designated with n. Okay, right? Then the first shell is given name as K shell, and the second shell L, third shell M. Got it? Right? And here the like K, L, M, N, so and so, so and so, so and so. Name of the shells, and numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so and so, so and so. Got it? And here he said that the energy shell, the energy of the K shell is very less comparing to the L, right? And the L shell's energy is less than the M shell. Got it? Right? Then its energy let E1. Okay, in L shell's energy is E2, then M shell's energy is E3. For example, E1 is less than the E2, then E2 is less than the E3, E3 less than the E4, right? Then number, principal quantum number is increases, the energy level is also increasing. Okay, and one more thing, right? If a number is increases, energy is increases, right? Then the electron which is revolve in K shell, it has its separate own energy, and the electrons which are revolving in L shell, it has its own energy, right? And one more, he explained that sometimes the electrons are jumps from lower energy to higher energy. Okay, one electron is jumps from K shell to M shell, K shell to M shell. In such case, to jump from lower to higher level, then it should gain the energy. It should gain the energy, right? If electron is jumps from lower energy shell to higher energy, then it should gain it, which then if electron is jumps from lower energy to higher energy level, then it should gain the energy. Okay, right? Then the electron is jumps from lower energy to higher energy. Then, sir, that electron is fixed in that shell continuously. For example, if then one second class student we allowed to sit in 8th class. He will continue his studies in 8th class? No. Within a fraction of second, after the few minutes or few hours, he will join, he will come again to his own class. Got it? Right? Like that, if electron is jumped from lower energy to higher energy, then he will not be stay in that energy level. Then after the few seconds, after the some time, that electron is comes into its own shell. Got it? Right? Then this time, then when it jumps from higher energy to lower energy, when the electron is jumps from lower energy to higher energy, it gains the energy. Got it? Then when the electron is jumps from higher energy to lower energy, it should lose its energy, right? When it jumps higher to lower, it should loses. Got it? Then the lower energy level is called as ground state. Ground state, right? The lower energy level is called as ground state. When it jumps into higher energy level, that is called as excited, right? That means when electron is jumps from ground level to ground state to an excited state, it should gain the energy, and when it is jumps from excited to ground level, it should loses the energy. So how much energy it loses, sir, or how much energy is gained, sir? How we can calculate, sir? Then we have a principle we have already discussed in our last class, that is Max Planck's is given that E equal to h nu. E equal to h nu. Got it? And that means then the electron is jumped from K shell to M shell. Then K shell's energy level is E1, then E3. That means E3 minus E1 equal to h nu. Okay, right? It jumps from E1 to E2. That means then E2 to E2 minus E1 equal to h nu. Right? H is Planck's constant. Frequency means while jumping it releases some energy, no? That some energy in the form of light only, no? Then that frequency. Got it? This is a principle we will use it. And here one more interesting fact. He said that then energy is quantized. Means then always that energy is releases like 1 h nu or 2 h nu and 3h nu. It will not be half h nu and 1.5 h nu. We have already discussed that, right? That means, sir, electron always revolve in these shells, in its discrete paths. The electron will not revolve in between K shell and L shell. According to Bohr's atomic model, he said that the electron either revolve in a K shell, either revolve in L shell, either revolve in M shell, either revolve in N shell, but not between the K and L shell, L and M shell, because of this reason, because of quantization. Energy is released out. Good data, right? And then finally the Rutherford is unable to explain that what if any object is revolve continuously, it loses its energy. But he said that the electron will not lose because of its energy. Then it's discrete, it is always revolve in discrete path. And also then the Bohr's atomic model is successfully explained about the line spectra of a hydrogen atom. Line spectra of hydrogen atom. Okay. But when the line spectra is observed with high resolution spectrum, it has given thin lines. One color consists of again thin lines. That is called as fine spectra. Okay, when we observe, when our scientists are observed that line spectra of hydrogen, okay, by magnified spectrum, then it has given the fine spectra. It has given fine spectra. That means one line spectra is splits into the many thin lines, many fine lines. Then why the fine spectra is emissioned with the hydrogen atom? That is not explained by the hydrogen atom. Good data, right? Then in our this is the drawback of hydrogen atom. Sorry, this is the drawback of a Bohr's atomic model. Okay, then we will discuss one more atomic model to overcome the drawback of Bohr's atomic model in our next class. Okay, thank you.